Big 12 Radio, this is Big 12 Today, heard on TuneIn, watched on Big 12 Studios. We are presented by Modelo, along with James Wesley and Austin Ivan. I am Ari Temkin. Jamie Dixon, head basketball coach for TCU, joining us now here on Big 12 Radio. Coach, good morning. How are you?
Good, thanks. Getting ready for a big home game. We got number one team coming in the country, coming into town. So ready to go. And as we know, the Big East, the Big 12 is. I've only been in the best conferences.
No kidding.
Big 12, Big East, and the ACC. So it's just more of the same.
Well, and from Allen Fieldhouse and what we saw this week to the number one team in the country, like you said, I mean, there's just no stoppage. I mean, what'd you do in terms of breaking down the game film from last game, or did you not? You kind of just forget about it and what happened at the end of the game?
We were coming off a big win against Baylor. It was interesting. We won the game, and all anybody wanted to talk to was Baylor's recent acquisition. So I kind of gave the media a little bit of a hard time on that. And then, of course, you go right to the loss here on this one here. So we'll get right to it. And an extremely disappointing loss because of the situation. So, I looked at what I could have done better. First thing we did after the game is, I took responsibility for it. As I do in any losses, and when we come up short, and just said. But I said to our players, first thing, and make sure I'm going to start this conversation with you in the locker room and end with it, that we are a really good team. We've proven that we are. We've come a long way from where we started the season. We've had injuries. And we've made significant strides. Defensively, we got very good quickly. I was a little surprised by that. Rebounding-wise, we got better. And now we're leading the league as far as rebound differential, which that was a struggle early in the season. And then offensively, the last couple of weeks, our offense is finally starting to get where I thought it was going to be. And so we've made great strides. And the mistakes made were I'll take responsibility, and we went to work on them these last 2 days of practice. And we didn't do the job we need. Obviously we didn't make free throws, that stood out. But simply put, we didn't guard down the stretch. We gave up 16 of 18 possessions turned into baskets. Certainly they were getting the foul line, and that was one of the problems. We weren't getting the foul line as much. That was another problem, and we ended up shooting one-on-ones that we missed. And that's part of it. So I could have done a better job on the press, is what I told our guy at press. We used probably the wrong first time we used the timeout. We were fine in the press all the way through to the last one, and then probably should have used a different press break than we did after we'd called the timeout. I used a different. We have a couple different ones, and if I'd had to do it over again, I'd done a different one. But at the end of the day, we got to do a better job executing, and we got to put ourselves in a better position. Down the stretch, but ultimately guarding is what we do, and we simply they made some tough shots, but got to the foul line, and had some breakdowns on some switches that we gave up a three that was contested, but not contested well enough.
Yeah, man, Jamie, you've done an incredible job in season coaching this basketball team. You guys lose your opener to New Orleans, and then a few weeks later, you're beating the defending national champs, Florida, and then taking Kansas to the wire in Allen Fieldhouse. So you mentioned the rebounding, the offense is coming together. Who are some individual players that have made the most growth in season in your eyes?
Well, LT is playing really well now. He shooting the ball well. He was playing pretty good early, just wasn't given the shooting that we thought we'd have. And then I also think that Xavier's has improved as we hoped. We thought he would get better. Has come from a junior college, but I think defensively he was probably a little better than I thought early on. Still needed work. And it's continually gotten better, and so I think that's been a big factor for us. Jaden's playing a little better too; he's making more consistent shooting the ball. So, we had injuries. We had three guys out the first game, and another guy got in foul trouble, and all of a sudden we were playing completely lined up different things. So, it's people will bring that game up, but we know what that was a long time ago, and we've had some great wins since that time.
Coach, another player I want to ask you about is David Punch. He leads your team in points and rebounds, very, very well-rounded. What part of his game do you think doesn't get enough recognition?
Well, he's a really good defender. He leads the league in blocks, which that's a little bit of a surprise to me, but he's he actually is pulling ahead even more. So I knew he was always a good defender. He's a very good freshman defender. That was evident. But his presence and changing shots has been even more evident. But of course, I went into the game thinking into the season thinking he wasn't going to play a minute of 5-man, and he's playing, half the game at 5-man because of our injuries and loss of guys. So he's more around the basket more than he was initially. What we practiced for about 6 months this summer. So that has to be factoring in as well. But he's obviously he's scoring probably a little more than I thought. He's better finishing around the basket, which is something we've really worked on with him and truly emphasized, and just a lot of reps putting into play every single day at practice.
Yeah, I mean, I think punch against Flory this week, that was an impressive matchup. I mean, Flory just had a really down game, and punch, I think, just took it to him. And this is one of the best defensive bigs, in the conference.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Xavier's in there at the 5. Probably that's the matchup. But 20 minutes a game. We got to get more minutes out of Xavier. So we can play them both together. But he was in foul trouble all game. We had guys in foul trouble in Kansas City. I think that wore us down at the stretch too. Our minutes were too much for some guys because of the foul trouble we were in, and so that's been a factor in a couple of our losses. Notre Dame as well. I mean, really, actually, in all of our losses. Now I think about it, all of our losses, we've been in foul trouble inside, and that's something that we've got to monitor, and we've got to fix, and we've got to improve. But Kansas, that seems to happen a little more than other places, and that's just. But we've had it happen before, and we've got to do a better job with it. And that's where we can't. We got to focus on what we can do, and not be in that situation. We had Jaden was in foul trouble too, so I thought we played Brock too many minutes in our last game, and you can't get guards in foul trouble, and that's what it is. And then we got to handle it better if we are in that situation as far as the staff and how we substitute. So those have been constants in our 4 losses.
TCU men's basketball coach Jamie Dixon with us. Coach, I'm glad that you noted the Big East off the top, because are there parallels between the physicality from the Big 12 now in this new era compared to what you used to see in the Big East? And like when you scout Arizona, what stands out in terms of their physicality, and is it comparable to those teams that you had or coached against back in the day?
No, I think the game's changed. They ref it different. The scoring's up because of it. I mean, you can't take a charge. The out front, you can't. It's just different. It's completely different. But with that said, to your point, Arizona is as physical as you can possibly get. We played Florida, who was the same thing, and plays a lot of the same ways, runs a lot of the same actions. So it's obviously it's good preparation for us. But again, that was a while back, and Wisconsin actually played this similar too. So we kind of were. In that stretch where we beat those teams to win the championship in San Diego, we really we found it helpful that we played 2 teams back to back that really did the same things. Not quite the same, but offensively the same. But this is what Arizona does. But Arizona's even better because they're bigger, stronger at pretty much every position. Their 3-man rotation from at the bigs is as lethal as you can be, as physical as you can be, as big as you can be, and balanced. So that's the thing. But yeah, these 3 are the most physical guys in the country as a group.
Coach, beyond the physicality, when you get ready for this game against Arizona, they're undefeated, top team in the nation. What are the key things for your group that they need to focus on and hone in on?
Yeah, the transition. I mean, that's where they. I just watched the San Diego State game this morning when they played, and it was a tight game. Struggled to score a little bit offensively, and then got out in the second half and got transition baskets, and that's where they can open it up. So, you gotta because the bigs really run. I talk about how physical and yes, but they can really run too, and they get out in transition and cause mismatches and advantages. So that's first and foremost. Rebounding has always been, as the year has gone on, our biggest thing that we have to look at and have to work on, and we've gotten better at it. We've stepped up to the challenge. But now we've got, I think Florida was number 1 and Arizona's number 2, I think, in rebounding in the country. I mean, Tennessee might be in there right there too. But we got to get it done on the glass. And as we did in Kansas, in Baylor, we have the biggest margin in the league in the first 2 games. So that's, I'm proud of our guys for becoming this team rebounding wise.
Can Lil Vicious be a 5 of 7 3-point shooter for you on a consistent basis?
Yeah, I mean, he's not anybody's gonna be 5 of 7 consistent,
right.
But I mean, he's a 40% 3-point shooter. That's what he's at now, and that's what we thought he'd be, and it's taken a little while. So, but he's back. He's where we are. He's a good defender for us. He moves the ball well. He's got to rebound more, but we're working on that as well. But that's helped our. We did not shoot the ball. That was a little bit of a surprise to us early on. Our shooting open shots from 3. We had some dreadful performances in some games, and we thought they were pretty good shots. Now we're getting even a little better shot, and we're knocking them down. So it's good to see.
Coach, I want to ask you about Brock Harding, your point guard. He's got 93 assists towards the top of the conference. What have you seen from him, and is he performing at a higher level than maybe you thought coming in? And what is his future look like in terms of the player he can be?
Yeah, and our goal for him has always been, as we said, is to lead the conference in assists. That's been our goal, and that's what we've wanted to work on together with it. I think, like I said, our shooting had some was started off slower than I thought offensively, which would kind of indicate his assist numbers being a little lower than I thought. But that's our goal. That's how we're playing. That's what we expect from him, and he's in that vicinity. And that's what we're trying to do. So we need him. He's a smaller guy, and we do a lot of things to protect him. And he's got to consistently do his job defensively to play to his strengths. And we got to hide some of his weaknesses. But we need him to pressure the ball. We need him to bother some people. We need to be tough to come off ball screens with him, and we'll cover up some other things with our team defense. But main thing for us is high assists, low turnovers, and especially now I think because our guys were shooting it better. Mm-hmm. He's got to understand that that we're back to that as the priority. He doesn't have to score as well.
Jamie Dixon, TCU head basketball coach. Good luck on the game this weekend, and I appreciate your time this morning. Thank you.
Okay, thank you guys.
Take care.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, take care.
Dixon joining us here on Big 12 Radio with Austin Ivan and James Westling. I am Ari Temkin, and talk about a tough deal here. You go from playing at Allen Fieldhouse and the ending that game was this week to the number 1 team in the nation. It's undefeated.
Brutal stretch, and they're not the only team in the Big 12 that's going to have a schedule like this. They picked up some really quality non-conference wins. He noted their tournament win out in San Diego where they beat Wisconsin by 11, who's a really good team. They beat a Florida team that is very much built like Arizona. They have a massive front line. Their guards are long and lanky, and they rebound the heck out of the basketball. So they've already seen a team that kind of stylistically plays a lot like Arizona. But then it doesn't get any easier after this, right? They play at BYU, and then they play Utah and Oklahoma State. But I still think this TCU team is going to be a problem for a lot of teams in the Big 12. I like the way Jamie Dixon has built this roster.
That's James Westling, Austin Ivan. I am Ari Temkin. Big 12 today, presented by Modelo. Heard on TuneIn, watched on Big 12 Studios. All right, we'll react to what we just heard from Jamie coming up next. Plus, if you missed Bill Self yesterday, you're not going to want to miss him next. This is Big 12 today, presented by Modelo. Heard on TuneIn and watched on Big 12 Studios.